I was right, and I'll get into what I mean by that a little bit later into the video, because if I were to get into it now, then I would have to jump over a whole bunch of stuff that can absolutely not be jumped over, so as I stated before, we'll get into that a little bit later. For right now, we're gonna start at the beginning of the chapter. Chapter 132, Chrono Witch. What a mysterious title. I wonder what it can mean. Also to note, as you may know, this is not a reaction. Don't ask me why it isn't, I don't know, I just decided to record this type of video, so yeah. No, let's proceed. So this chapter starts off, obviously, where the last one left off. You have Ziggy appearing in the VR room in front of the crew, and the crew, rightfully so, is very surprised. They're like, what's going on? What's happening? How did you get here? But all of their questions go unanswered for the moment. Because at that moment, Ziggy outstretches his arm and causes this weird black, I don't even know what to call it. It kind of looks like, you know, if you're looking at a picture of a galaxy and you see a whole bunch of stars from far away, but I'm just gonna call it stuff. This weird black stuff to encircle around him and Shiki so that they are the only two people that can see each other. This makes Shiki question where all of his friends are, and Ziggy in response to this says, oh, you want someone to join you, huh? And then up above he summons Rebecca and she falls down and he catches her mid-air with his gravity, so she's just levitating right in front of Ziggy. And mind you, everything he's done so far has only been with one hand. And actually, that's kind of a running thing with Ziggy. I don't think ever since he awoke he's used two hands. It's only ever been one. This type of particular flexing reminds me of Jiren from Dragon Ball Super from the Tournament of Power arc, where he would only ever use his eyes until he met a worthy opponent, then he would start using more. It's just a cool flex. I like when super powerful characters do stuff like this. It's just cool. But anyhow, back to the story. So while Ziggy has Becca floating in front of him, he tells Shiki that he doesn't need to learn anything from Zenolith because Ziggy has already taught Shiki everything he needs to know. He then follows it up by asking him a question and then answering it himself. He says, what do you think you will find if you go beyond that? Obviously meaning, what do you think you will find if you go beyond what I've already taught you? Because the path of gravity ultimately leads to absolute nothingness. Fire quotable. I don't even know what that really means, but it's still a fire quotable. Actually, I think I do know what that means. I think he's talking about black holes, because if everything is eventually sucked into a black hole, then that will leave absolutely nothing, and a black hole can suck in anything. Stars, planets, dust, I think atoms, I'm not entirely sure. And black holes are created by increased pressure, which is caused by well, you know what, let me stop talking about stuff that I don't really know much about, but speaking of gravity, that is exactly what Ziggy increases on Rebecca. He makes her fall to the ground, and the ground starts cracking with how much pressure he is putting on her. And Shiki, who is having to watch this, yells out, stop, but the plea falls on deaf ears, and Ziggy continues with his speech saying, if you still want to follow that path, then allow me to show you. And he continues to apply the gravity and continues with his speech saying, this happens when gravity is applied to the human body for a prolonged period. You got Rebecca screaming out in agony, and her body's like shaking as it's being crushed under all this pressure, and Ziggy continues again, saying, you see, her capillaries collapse at tremendous speed. If this continues, her internal organs will likely be crushed. Observe, though, it may be difficult for you to watch as I crush her face. This is the power of gravity. Damn! The granddad of Eden Zero don't play no games! But seeing his friend go through so much pain allows Shiki to use his ether gear and break out of his restraints and attack Ziggy. It is then revealed that Ziggy was actually Zeno the entire time, and this whole thing was just created by the VR machine and none of it was real. Everyone is safe and everyone is fine, and Ziggy wasn't really here. Which I'm pretty sure a lot of us predicted was going to happen. Not the whole stuff with Rebecca, but Zeno being Ziggy, and this all being a VR simulation. But anyways, back to it. After Shiki sees that everyone is safe, he goes and hops on where Rebecca is tied up, and he's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're safe, I'm so happy, And Rebecca's like, get off me. Meanwhile, though, Zeno is thinking to himself how amazing Shiki is. He can't believe that he overcame the restraints so quickly, and he's thinking that maybe he is indeed a worthy heir to Ziggy's power, and perhaps he can even be trusted with Magimech's ultimate secret technique, Black Sky. I like how Shiki is getting his own secret techniques, kind of like the Hidden Lotus Phoenix a flame attack or whatever you want to call it, the move that Natsu used on Zero. But after Zeno thinks that to himself and the training continues, the day then comes to a close and everyone is pooped. Zeno tells them though that the real training starts tomorrow, so if you're pooped today, you gonna be dead the next. Sister then interrupts and says, hey, training's good and all, but what about that relic that we were supposed to find on Foresta? And I don't think I've ever mentioned this before in a video, but yeah, whatever happened to the relic? It kind of felt like once we left Foresta, that was just a plot line that was forgotten about, but it wasn't. Hiro had this in the bag. Because Zeno was like, oh, what, a relic? Oh, you mean this? And he just brings out a bottle cap. And it's a genuine relic. He's not pulling their leg or anything like that because the Mother Ether starts reacting to it. And Zeno says you can find stuff like this all over Foresta. The name Relic makes them sound big and fancy, but there's just things like this bottle cap. Relic only means that they were items that were on Mother. But anyways, with the discovery of the bottle cap, the Shining Stars then begin to wonder if humans used to live or do live on Mother, because all the stuff that they've found so far that relates to Mother has been human-sized. After that though, and this is where we get to what I was saying in the beginning of the video about how I was right, while Rebecca is leaving the rest of the crew to go take a bath, Zeno calls her out, or rather singles her out. And side note, I think it's funny here that with him saying that to her, she actually admits that she does like Shiki. But anyways, back to what I was talking about. He tells her that her ether powers are weak. She's weak and she will need more intensive training. Rebecca, after hearing this, is notably salty and says, what do you expect? The others have had their powers for forever and I only just learned how to use my ether gear a little while ago. Then she storms off to go take a bath. And then when she gets to the bath, she herself openly admits that she knows she's weak. It was like I was saying on Twitter, bro. On Twitter, I did a retweet of confessions that get your Eden Zero card revoked or whatever. I had said that Rebecca ain't that great, to be honest. Like, she's alright. But at this point, she doesn't really compare with the rest of the main crew. They're levels above her. And when I had said that, I had a couple people coming after me, saying, oh no, you're wrong. That's not how it is. Well, boom. I don't even know why this was an argument or a debate to begin with. It was so obvious. Zeno singled her out and said, hey yo, you need to get your stats up cause they looking trash. But even though I'm kinda clowning on Rebecca, I gotta give it to her. She doesn't let the fact that she is weak keep her down for long. She says, hey, if I'm weak, I need to get stronger. So she starts training in the bath. And then Witch appears looking but Witch shows up and states that she will train Rebecca every day after she's done training with Zeno, and she will help her become a Chrono Witch, which sounds really awesome, and definitely has something to do with chronophages. But anyways, that is actually gonna do it for this video, so thank you all very much for watching. I hope that you all enjoyed. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace out, everybody!